I'm honored to have the privilege to introduce our guest speaker in the Thoughts on Education initiative by collegedunia.com. We have with us the head of academic council and faculty at GRMI, Professor Madhuvich. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good, and thank you. Thank you, Shriram.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us. Ma'am, before delving into our conversation, could you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and your journey in the education domain?
Okay, Shriram, let me start by saying that it has been a very long journey, a journey which I have enjoyed at every stage. In fact, I would say I have grown with Delhi University. To give you a little brief, I started my career with Lady Shri Ram College, taught there for a year and a half, and after that, I moved to the Faculty of Management Studies as a lecturer. We used to call them lecturer, which is called an assistant professor these days. And after that, I have been with FMS for the last 40 years, I would say, and one has not switched jobs. So I've traveled from being a lecturer to an associate to a full fledged professor. In fact, in between, I had also headed the Women's Studies Development Center in Delhi University as a director for again, a year and a half. In fact, at FMS, the primary role which I have is teaching, research, and guiding doctoral students. And my area at FMS has been accounting, finance, risk management, banking, and one has also, traveled to areas like international financial management, derivatives, and yes, gender issues also. In fact, a number of students have completed their doctoral dissertation with me. Okay.
Ma'am, as Puneet sir was also mentioning, your journey has been monumental. And for a young generation like me, if we can replicate even 10% of your success, it will be a huge thing. So, talking about your role specifically, being the academic chair of GRMI, how do you strategize about the key programs and plans for the administration of your institution?
Okay. So let me say that at GRMI, let me use their tagline, creating risk intelligent professionals. So, I would also like to go with this tagline because, the time they started this completely risk management course that was in 2017, you know, uh, they have been growing and, developing this course in the area of risk management. And their flagship course, the postgraduate diploma in risk management, I've seen the kind of growth it has witnessed. I don't know whether you know, Shiram, but the admissions at GRMI happen twice a year, because the kind of demand for risk professionals in the industry has grown, and the requirement is something which happens throughout the year. To keeping in view, this industry demand and industry requirement, uh, they have, devised an innovative way, to have admissions twice a year. In fact, at GRMI, I've been seeing the way the whole curriculum has evolved, and I do find that their program is continuously evolving. A lot of B schools say that yeah, we are linked to the industry, but the way I find that GRMI has completely it's like an industry requirement. So what they have tried to do is, in terms of the various courses which they have got, in terms of the course outline, it's completely industry driven. And let me also say, it's not only industry driven, it is also driven by the requirements of the market. Any corporate, any business which does not link itself to the market, you know, the survival is at very stake. And let me also add, you know, in today's context, what I find is that, GRMI, apart from the constant innovation they do in terms of their course requirement, they have also added in the current year 2 new papers. And why I want to upfront emphasize that is because they are completely linked to the kind of demand the industry has and the kind of industries where their students are finding a placement. So these 2 papers, which we do plan to start off from the next year, so it will be January 2021. One is on banking risk, and the other is on third-party risk management. And let me tell you, the kind of events one has witnessed, right from the global financial crisis to the various other kind of crises or events, whatever way we would like to call them, they do, it's absolutely necessary, I would say, that the students who join the industry, they do have a good knowledge of the kind of risks which are, absolutely mandatory. And, COVID has told all of us that events with a very low probability do happen. And, let me also add here that COVID is very, very different from any kind of event which could happen. It could be a Katrina, or it could be an earthquake or anything else, because in COVID there is a human part involved. And let me also add here that leadership through COVID is a moment that nobody is going to forget for a very long time. So how educational institutions and how corporates adapt themselves to the current scenario, mold their curriculum, mold their requirement to the to the current scenario is something which I would say GRMI has done it very effectively in the last few months.
I think in terms of curriculum and even the facilities being provided to the students, especially in this situation as well, I think the work that GRMI has done is world class. I mean, I will not be mingling my words on that. I think it has been an exemplary performance by you and your team. I think this is something that a lot many other colleges are also looking to replicate. Coming to that only, how do you see PGDRM offered by GRMI shaping up?
Okay, Shriram, a very interesting question, because that's what the bread and butter of GRMI is. And as we said, it's the flagship program. Now, I would say that this program is continuously evolving. So, the team at GRMI will not sit back and relax. It's like a continuous evolution, and the evolution comes in many forms. Okay, one is by a real life scenario of cases. So internship is there, which is like all B schools would have that, but they also have a live internship for their students. They've had it with a few organizations like Make My Trip and others, and there's one more company's name. And this kind of live internship is what helps the students to earn and learn. So it's not kind of a desk project which is given to the students. So it's like a interaction with the leaders, the CEOs of the corporate sector, and the students interact with them every 2 to 3 hours every day. So this is one thing which I do find it is, and they have also done it with Grant Thornton. So that's another one. So this ongoing internship is one, I think, which is very unique to GRMI. Apart from this, the leadership talk series, I would say, the kind of industry leaders they bring, for interaction with their students. I think that is something which uh, is very unique to GRMI. If I could take a few names, Sabina Sudan is somebody who is teaching also an important course at GRMI. Then we have Afzal Modak, who has been the CEO of GE, and now he's an active investor both in the Middle East and in India. And then we have Richard Reiki also, who's a former CEO, KPMG India, and we have a lot of other leaders like Sandeep from ENY, who's a part of their forensic audit, and yes, Aditya Pandey also from Indigo. So this leadership talk series, which is practically maybe twice in a month, which helps the young students to interact with their icons. They have only probably heard their names. That brings a lot of rich experience to the table. And also the fact that GRMI gives a guarantee for placement. Yes, it is with riders, but the riders are only to upscale the program. So it's not like, okay, I'm going to get my students 100% place, or these are my placement, because no, they're all very realistic. And that is what I find, is the important dimension of GRMI as it is being shaping up. Then you should look at their website. The board members are, I would say, a who's and who from the corporate sector. So, and then for any institution to build, you need a very strong alumni network. And GRMI actually, okay, it's a new institution. It's still growing. It has a very strong alumni network. It's more like, a word of mouth publicity. And I would say these are the biggest brand ambassadors for GRMI. And we really need to strengthen this alumni base. And I was talking to Puneet in the morning, and he's telling me that the alumni have also, they have offered a scholarship to the best all-rounders. I think initiatives like this, show, I would say, a very, you really feel for the institution. You say, okay, I belong to this institution. And apart from all this, the fact that they have a very rigorous program. It's a 1 year very rigorous program. The curriculum is being continuously upscaled, and they are looking at the changing risk landscape, and that is what is being inbuilt into the into the curriculum. And I think it's the fact that it's not only on paper that we say it's we are creating experiential learning or real real kind of life case studies, or any other such term. But the whole point here is that they are creating, risk intelligent professionals. I'd like to come back to that. And I think that is the biggest contribution by the institution.
I think, ma'am, the strengths, the unique features of the institution that you have mentioned about, and as you were saying, it's a new institution, but the alumni network itself, I think it is something that traditional universities, institutions, they also don't even have that. So I think, so I think the unique features of this institution is just amazing. But coming to the other side of the coin, what according to you are the biggest challenges you see, both for the education sector in general and for GRMI specifically amidst this pandemic situation?
Okay. The biggest challenge, I would say, is the present scenario we are living in. If you had asked me a year back, would you do virtual teaching? I would say, no, why should I? Because I'd love to interact with the students. I would love to see their faces. In fact, I do remember I used to do this virtual teaching for Institute of Chartered Accountant, and I used to find them a little boring because I'm not interacting with the students. It's only through chat you would read the questions. Let me tell you that it is definitely a big challenge. It is definitely a big challenge. Whether in terms of teaching, or I would say in terms of the exams. Let me tell you, it was so easy for us, even at FMS, we would do, an interview. You could judge the students. But now everything is online. But okay, you can definitely find a solution to that. But I do feel online exams is a great challenge because there is an issue of integrity, how to ensure there is no copying. Everything is software enabled, and to top it all, there could be an uncertain power supply. So you have cameras all over, but still, it's not like being there, physically. Yes, we are talking in all good B schools about blended learning. In fact, there was a talk about blended learning using the online, learning platforms like a MOOCs, the video-based learning, or the flipped classroom, was a very great initiative. But let me tell you here that, when there is no way out, so we need to adopt this. And the greatest thing about technology is you need to go all the way, or you don't need to. So, adopting digitalization and digital technology here is not a matter of choice. It's only how soon, how fast you adopt it, that will determine your success. So all the good B schools, all the good educational institutions, let me tell you, they are trying to find ways and means to overcome this challenge. Yes, there are, issues of whatever I mentioned here about student participation, also engagement. The students would put on their video, and I always find that a lot of time in my class. And they'll put on their video. Obviously, yes, they are on mute, but then how do you check they are listening? And whatever you may say, college education is not only about the course, it's not only about attending classes, it's a lot about networking. It's all about learning from other sources. It could be just about playing TT in the, in your educational institution. So there are a lot of activities you participate in. Having said that, for GRMI, also, you would have these challenges. But the good part is that, the scale makes a lot of difference. So the fact that, this is still a small institution, it's still growing, they can still, control, they can still exercise the right checks and balances. And that is, I would say something which we need to really take care of. So how we, move in that direction in terms of the present scenario, and how the educational sector, in fact, there have been a lot of webinars on this, how the education sector will meet these challenges. And, there was a paper also I was reading from IIT, from the professors of IIT Bombay, and they had given a very mixed response to, this online teaching. But I think, there are various innovations which are happening. Could be an artificial intelligence, could be blockchain technology, because I do hear that as a result of the blockchain technology in education, it's going to become easier to exchange data in a very secure manner. So for a lot of institutions, you do one course here and you do one course abroad, the transfer of credits becomes easier. The most important thing is the student record, the fraudulent claims by the students, uh, the storage, the cloud storage, you know. So, uh, uh, I would say this could be about the blockchain technology, artificial intelligence. We can always use that for facial recognition. So, if we were to adopt these technologies slowly over a period of time, I think this would go a long way. And probably, what will emerge will be a completely new kind of new normal, as I would say, which definitely the new normal will not be a straight line, Sriram. It'll be a curvy line. But that curvy line is what the students would also appreciate. But having said this on the current pandemic, I would like to also mention my favorite two words on the current pandemic. And I like to believe that we need to think of this pandemic as a creative pandemic. And as a finance professor, I would say that we always look at the brighter side. So there was a global financial crisis, we looked at the brighter side. We said, how do we re-look at our education system? What do we teach our students? And uh, the current creative pandemic will also tell us how to reset, but not to restart. So that reset is what is going to be there, and how to rebuild and regain confidence. And technology, I think nobody can doubt that technology will play a bigger role. It will not be a hobby. Till now it was a hobby. It is not going to be a hobby, but will be, I would say, absolutely essential. So, COVID 19 will tell us how to do things differently. It will focus on a solution based approach rather than a problem based approach.
I think, ma'am, the kind of words that you have said, I think they are so motivational for me also. I'm sure the viewers are also having a really good time. And regarding the technologies that you were mentioning, I myself have worked in the cybersecurity field. So blockchain, artificial intelligence, these things, people are not really recognizing their work. And for GRMI to be recognizing that and to be mentioning those things, I think it is something that I was mentioning earlier also. Some of the things that GRMI is doing is very unique and very ahead of its time, you can say. So thank you for that. And ma'am, before I let you go, just one last thing. If you could give any suggestions to the current youth and the aspiring students who are facing difficulties, especially in this pandemic situation.
Okay. Shriram, uh, a big reality. So, whatever you may say, this is a big reality. You know, um, I would say it was a big task, even for us at FMS, to ensure that the offers given to our students don't get revoked. Fortunately, you know, we were able to place all of them because all this happened much before the pandemic. But all B schools are not so fortunate. So, yes, my advice to the current generation would be, and to the current youth, to the current students would be, uh, you need to take risk, be proactive, and you need to experiment. The fact is that in today's time, you can't say that, okay, what was good 20 years back is going to be good today. No, you really need to experiment, and uh, you need to listen to the market. You really need to listen to the market. And if you don't align yourself to the market, and I would say this is, and remember I said this, Shriram, this is true for corporates also, this is true for the education sector, this is true for students also. If you don't look at the market, you know, you would not be successful in today's world. And please remember, if I were to use a few adjectives, I could say adaptability, flexibility, technologically savvy, creativity, critical thinking, design thinking is one which is an important message for our young youth. And even before I close, let me tell you, Shriram, that in today's time, and I find that all the time, when you look at the kind of demands from the industry, the entire scenario today is cross functional, and that is the key to problem solving. Now tell me, if the problems which the business face are not one dimensional, they'll be rarely one dimensional. So you'll have an HR, you'll have a finance. What if I talk of a supply chain? After the COVID, the supply chain function has got shortened. So they have really reduced the life cycle. So if the problems are multi-dimensional and they're not single dimensional, then why should we still be thinking of a unidirectional kind of a specialization? Let us do it cross-functional. So let us look at all domains. And before I let you go, Shriram, I would want you to, see at some of our impressive, data for GRMI. So the current batch running is batch 7. And we have traveled a lot from single digit to double digits, and it's an intentional, because it's a very intensive course. We like to keep the numbers at a little more manageable. Even in the current scenario, we have a good number of students who have enrolled, and the industries, I thought I should tell you on my own behalf the industries where our students have been placed. That will also help in knowing a lot more about GRMI. So we have had students in the BFSI sector, and we have had in the consulting. So we have had students in Deloitte, KPMG, EY, PwC. So they are, or GT, they're regular recruiters. We have also had students in the healthcare sector. Then we have had in investment management. One of our students who's doing very well from the first batch is in a startup. And then you have life sciences also. And since I have worked with gender issues also, and it's been my endeavor to ensure that the institute is very, very gender balanced. So we do take into account the gender balance. We do take into account the fact that students are from all backgrounds. So you could be a BA or a BBA or an economics or a CA or a CA inter, PG in banking and finance. So across all disciplines, that is the kind of multi-profile our students have. And I'm sure we know that for any institution to survive, you also need students from varied background. And that is what helps the students and the institute to grow. But thank you, Shriram. It's been great interacting with you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I was actually mentioning it to my parents as well. I think this opportunity that I get to interact with people like you in the current situation, the expectation is from the younger generation that they are very mentally strong, that they are experimenting. But if COVID has taught us one thing, it is that our parents, our grandparents, it is their generations who are still guiding us, who are still more optimistic than us. And I think till people like you are there, I think it's a blessing for us. And I think we'll always be on the right path because of your guidance. So thank you once again, ma'am, for being with us today. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Shriram. Thank you.